Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cram Jam. My name is Jack, also known as Peebus.
My name is Chris, also known as Eric Guy.
Goon Guy.
Is
I'm Anthony
not
the
here.
Lamp.
Goon Guy is still gone. I'm sorry.
Goon
We're
Guy
working
was
on it.
Lost in Miami.
I apologize, fellas, as I am congested. I sound like shit. So, yeah.
Yeah, he is. And he does sound like shit.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to move past it.
Yeah, we'll forgive
We're still
him
working
this
on
time.
finding Marcus. Unfortunately, we don't have any updates for you. Actually, what we did do was we went searching, trying to find answers, trying to find any shaman in the area that could help us out. But we got bored, and so instead what we did was we went to Disneyland.
Yeah, because that was more fun than going to look for Marcus. Nothing against him, but it was just a little boring looking around deserted buildings and empty woods for the big bungus.
Marcus can wait. Disneyland first.
He'd understand. He'd understand.
Disney.
Disney. It's Disney.
So yeah, we thought that we'd sort of talk about it. Talk about what our favorite rides are, maybe what our least favorite experiences are at Disneyland, and just overall, is Disneyland a big knob or a good job?
Specifically, also, we're going to talk a little bit about Disneyland now, because most of us here have experience, most of us, as in Jack and I, have quite a bit of experience with Disneyland pre-COVID, but this is our first experience post-COVID, and it was a little different. It was a little
Quite.
Yeah, you'll hear more about that. Listen till the end.
I've been to
Also-
Disneyland once before this, and I was 11 years old. It's a lot different.
Yeah, I've been a lot. So personally, my experience with Disneyland and Disney generally, I used to live in California when I was young. I lived there for 8 years, and this was before the recession and before everybody in America was poor. And so we would go...
More specifically, California.
Yes, yeah, in particular. Before it was $1 million for a 2-bedroom house 100 miles from the beach. But, anyways, I used to go all the time with my parents. They used to pull me out of school and be like, "Hey, we're going to Disneyland today," because why the fuck wouldn't we?
Fuck,
And
okay.
so, yeah, Disneyland was a big part of my childhood generally. And I didn't go for quite a while, and then I started going a lot more often when I became an adult with money. And then stopped going because there was a worldwide pandemic.
What?
And now have
How
gone-
dare you let
yeah,
that stop your religious devotion to the Disney man?
You're right. I should have bent
You
over for
must
Disney Man
It's
You
and,
must
pronounced
and let him
Disney.
poison me.
It's
the
Disney man.
For Disney Man.
Disney man. Disney man.
Stupid bit.
It sounds so fucking stupid because I'm so congested too. I can't even pronounce it properly.
Not only is Anthony congested, he's also delirious.
Disneyland.
Oh God,
So,
Marcus
that's
has
my
possessed Anthony
experience.
for this episode.
Chris, what's your emotion and experience?
So
in
my
Disneyland?
experience with Disneyland is a little bit different. Actually, kind of the opposite. So I never went to Disneyland. I went to Disney World once when I was a kid. When I was like 6, but all I remember is that the Tower of Terror is huge, and that's all I remember because I was a tiny little child.
Yes.
And then I didn't ever go to Disneyland all throughout my childhood until I was like 13, and my brother was in a performance troupe that went and performed there, and so he got a free ticket to go. And so my family was like, fine, we'll take him to go to Disneyland. We'll take the rest of the family because we want to go see him perform, so that means we got to get a ticket. And so we went, and so my first time going to Disneyland was as an older kid. And then he was in that performance troupe the next year, so we did it again. And then I was like, hey, this is a pretty sweet deal, the free ticket gig, because you do fundraisers throughout the year in order to get a free ticket to go perform. And So I joined that performance troupe, and then I started performing in Disneyland too. So all the way up until I aged out of performing for that youth performance troupe, I would go every year. And then my mom started doing runs at Disney.
Where would you go?
Disneyland. And then my
There you
mom started doing these runs at Disneyland. And so there was a few
Runs?
years where...
Hold up, what?
Yeah, they do marathons there. They do
John.
marathons through
Oh.
Disneyland. They'll host marathons
I had no
and stuff
idea
like
that that was an event.
Yeah. So in order to, have an excuse for us to go out with her, we'd get like 1 park tickets for a day and then just, go visit that park the day that she went and ran throughout it that morning. And so but that was just from like 13 to 18, that was 5 years. But I enjoy Disneyland as like kind of like a strategy kind of game thing, because it's just like, all right, there's gonna be a shitload of people at Space Mountain, at fucking Guardians Tower, at all the big attractions. There's gonna be a long ass fucking line. But what you get is you get the digital Max Pass, so that you can plot out your course for the day and choose what rides you're going to get your fast pass to, and it becomes this game of like, all right, we're here now, we have this amount of time, to do whatever we want to do, but then we got to make a move, bust a fucking move and get all the way to our ride, and then we're going to, skip that whole line. But it was like a strategy to see how much you could get done in a day.
Yes.
Which, may or may not be a little different now. We'll see. Anthony, what's your life experience with Disneyland?
So when I went to Disneyland,
How much it's affected you so much in your life? I know.
so when I grew up, I grew up in Texas, and so we had Six Flags over Texas,
Yeah.
and then I moved to Missouri, and
Misery.
I moved to Missouri, and then there was the Silver Dollar City. And yeah, that's exactly what it's called. That's
I love,
that's not a joke.
I love a good old local theme park because they're always terrible.
Yes.
That's not for locals. Like millions of people like go there, like all the time. Like it's a huge attraction.
Well, I've never
Jack,
heard of it.
have you
I've
been to
in Missouri?
Have you been to like the fucking roller coaster park that's in Iowa, Jack?
I don't believe I lived in Iowa for 2 years. And
I know.
Chris has spent a few years, maybe some time in Iowa. I don't know.
What is it called? Is it
Specifics.
called Roller Coaster Park?
I don't fucking
No,
remember.
in Iowa, I used to go to a local Dave and Buster's / go-kart / sometimes water park, I think.
Like
called
Cracker Jacks.
Fun City.
Sometimes?
What do you mean
It was
sometimes?
I can't be certain if it was a water park.
if
'cause it was
they could
always
pay the
fucking
water
cold
bill
in
that
Iowa,
month.
It was
Otherwise,
always cold and sad in that stupid state.
Sometimes it would flood, and then we would swim around.
Yeah, when the
So-
ice caps melted in Iowa.
sometimes the pipes
But,
would burst while you'd be in the arcade, and then you just have to
used
run
to-
out. It was just a little
I
surprise.
used to go to a place called Fun City, which was like it was mostly Dave and Buster's with go-karts also. And my parents would disappear to the casino that was in the back and be like, if anybody tries to come and get you, here's the code word that we will have told them if we sent them to come get you in an emergency. If they don't say this code word, then you are going to be kidnapped. And the code word was always like bubble or some shit.
I like
anyways.
that it's not like a runaway. It's not like go find a staff member. It's you are going to be kidnapped. You're done.
Gone forever.
You're already dead.
It's really incredible. But
I love you. It's nice knowing you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it was a really great time because it was inside and I didn't have to look at Iowa. I was indoors with no windows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the only way to enjoy Iowa. Any Iowa listeners out there?
Yeah.
Why?
The only
are
way
you
to
there?
enjoy Iowa is to not be in Iowa.
Yeah, unless you're really into hunting and farming. If you're really into those, Iowa, sure, go for it. We need people to live there, I guess. No.
And if you are into those and also live in Iowa, you have to do both. Then you can feel free to turn this off.
Yeah, you can feel free to stay away from us all.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's just
Anyways.
entirely cut off Iowa as our
Anyway,
listeners. As our
Anthony,
listener
what do you
base.
think about Disney?
Going back to my little origin story.
Yeah, sorry.
I used to go to Six Flags like all the time. I used to go there like every week or something like that. Like I could literally tell you what the entire place looks like. I could write it down on a map. And I went there when I was ages 5 to 7, and I just know that entire area. It was actually my first experience with a 4D movie. It was SpongeBob. It was hell. It gave me a concussion. But anyways, yeah, no, I love that place. It was chill, you know. And then Silver Dollar City was expensive as fuck. It sucked. Silver Dollar City, more like Take Your Dollar City, as my dad would always say.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree. And then
I think I might
I
have
moved
been
to
to
where I live now. And my dad's like, yo, boys, want to go get some Disneyland? He said it just like that, because he is from California. And we're like, fuck yeah, dude, Disneyland. That sounds cool as shit. So we went to Disneyland, and then we fucked off and got out of Disneyland and went to California Adventure because it has the better rides.
It truly
And-
does.
I remember absolutely
Controversy.
nothing of Disneyland besides Disneyland, besides Space Mountain and the other mountain one, not Splash Mountain,
Thunder
Thunder Mountain. Yeah, I remember those two
Thunder.
rides.
Mountain, Hardly Nowhere Mountain.
And then I remember the entirety of California Adventure. California Adventure, I had a blast. I went there 3 days in a row. We were there for 12 hours each day. It was hell on earth. But it was great. I loved it. Now, mind you, I mentioned that I stayed the fuck out of Didneyland because it's just for kids. I'll be real with y'all. It's straight up for kids. Like, there are some attractions for adults and shit, but it's for kids. And, like, I was 11, granted, but you guys have got to know by now that I didn't really watch cartoons as a kid. I watched Tom and fucking Jerry. I watched
Anthony had a very disconnected childhood from the rest of childhood.
Humanity.
I liked
The rest of humanity. Thank you.
I liked Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny. But
Six Flags.
yes, they were there. But yeah, I couldn't really tell you too many interesting things about Disneyland when I was there. Now fast forward to today when we went, or last week rather.
Yes.
Today, this day.
First off, I'd like to note that Chris and his significant other treated me like a child for the first like hour or two, and I was like, "What is this? What is going on right now?" And but it was all right. It was a bit. I just don't think I was in the right headspace for it at the time, because I don't know. We were in Disneyland, and like everything is kid themed, and being called a child just made me feel really fucking weird. But honestly,
You're just disassociating. You forgot what year it was.
honestly.
Yeah. It's like, am I 11 again?
Now, I will admit, I did like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride just because it was like super chill. But other than that, it was just a whole bunch of like fucking waiting in line and shit, and just walking around and then trying not to die because it was hot as fuck out, and I was also tired as hell, and there's a lot of miscommunication between our friends and everything, and it wasn't even that crowded that day apparently because it's not even like full open Disneyland, and I thought it was crowded as shit. Like, what the you telling me that bitch gets fucking more packed? Nah, dude.
It gets like probably almost twice as packed as it was.
They should not sell that many fucking tickets, I think.
Yeah, but I mean capitalism. But I'll say this about Disneyland. As an adult, it is much less impressive, I'd say. You know, as a kid, you have a shorter attention span, so it all seems wonderful and fantastical, and it is an experience. But now I've gone so often, even without going for all of last year, it still feels like, yep, I get the exact same feeling entering this park that I get just seeing the beach in California. It's like, yep, there it is. it's mostly all I get because it's just so familiar to me, and it's almost boring.
See,
Honestly, you go first, Chris.
See, I get that kind of. See, so I had not been there since before Galaxy's Edge opened, and we got to see both Galaxy's Edge and the Avengers campus that's now open. We got to see that a little bit. We didn't spend too much time in there, which I kind of wish I looked around there more because I just didn't think about it until after we'd left, and I was like, oh, we didn't even see the full thing, I don't think.
Yeah.
But like just to at least sightsee since we were there. But at the same time, it was like, even though, I'm a big Star Wars fan, I'm a big Marvel fan, and seeing these new things was cool. Seeing everything else, like, for me, everyone always wants to go on Pirates. I've gone on Pirates every single time I've gone to Disneyland, and I've honestly these days, and I'm like, really? You want to go on Pirates again? Like, it's still Pirates. There's still two.
I like Pirates because I think it's essential to have that break, because Pirates is very long, but also it's slow. It's nice and cool in there, and you get to just look around for a minute.
But we did it as our second ride. That was our mistake. We didn't do it as a break. Yeah, we did it as our second ride at the start of the day.
We're mostly just like, it's got 15-minute wait. Why don't we do it?
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to do this ride. Like, if I had, like, my legs were tired and I was like, oh, it's super hot out, I would have probably been like, oh, fuck yeah, let's do some Pirates. But I was like, at that point in the day, I was like, let's go to one of the other more fun rides that's going to be a lot longer of a wait later on. But, it was like, whatever, let's do some fucking Pirates. But every year, everybody wants to do Pirates, and I'm just always like, those rides that are just, like, they're not any form of, like, adrenaline rush rides at all. Like, doing them the first couple times, you're like, okay, that was fun. And then you do it so many other times, it's like, seeing the beach. It's like, oh, yep, that is again. And it's like, like going, like Splash Mountain, there's the big drop. But Splash Mountain is so long, and you have to listen to Zippity Doo-Dah for like an hour, it feels like. And honestly,
actually, Zippity Doo-Dah only plays at the end of the ride when you've already done the drop.
But you can hear it on your way over.
But you do listen to the same musical motif over and over again.
And over, and
you
it
can't help
drives
but
you
watch
insane.
and think to yourself, this feels wrong because of what this is.
Yeah, you can't help but watch and think to yourself, if I had a gun right now, what would I do with it? Would I shoot the animatronics? Would I shoot myself? I don't know. It's just like I've stopped liking Splash Mountain other than the drop. The drop, I'm fine with. The drop is great. But like after going so many times on Splash Mountain, and like then you're like, oh, I don't really mind being soaked, but like at the same time you're all soaked out the entire time afterwards for a little bit. And you're just going to be standing in line for a little bit. So if you're like wearing jeans or some shit, you're just going to be uncomfortable for the next 30 minutes to like 2 hours possibly. It's just not going to be the best time. And if you went on it at night where it's the best line time, when everyone's like, oh, we should go on it now, it's like all of a sudden you're going to be wet for the rest of the night. And it's
as far as like Galaxy's Edge comes, the first time I saw Galaxy's Edge, which was a couple of years ago, before Rise of the Resistance was even open, it was like the first 2 weeks that they had Galaxy's Edge, which is the Star Wars area. I was like, this is really fucking cool, because they have built the atmosphere of like being on a random planet in the Star Wars universe very well. They have built that very well. It's cool to see the TIE Fighters, cool to see the Millennium Falcon, it's cool to see the X-Wing.
Wait, hold on. Did you know that in the Millennium Falcon ride, you can fly the Millennium Falcon?
You can fly the Millennium Falcon. That's only a bit that we get. And
well,
we're going to move right past it.
No, well, real quick, in relation
we
to
don't
that
need
bit,
to talk about this.
Well, we almost went on Rise of the Resistance.
We don't need to talk about this. With the Galaxy's Edge thing, it's the whole lightsaber thing. I will say, the first time that I went to Galaxy's Edge, my brother, I went with my whole family and my girlfriend Fallon. My brother was like, "Yeah, I paid $200 to do this lightsaber thing where you build a lightsaber," and I was like, "That's a waste of fucking money." And he's like, "No, it's cool, trust me." And so we waited like 2 hours to ride one of the Millennium Falcon thing while he was doing this lightsaber thing, which is you go in, you build a lightsaber, and they like lead you through the whole thing, and you're surrounded by children who are also building a lightsaber. And I just don't get it, you know? I mean, I'd rather just... Listen, Chris and I, we are traditional nerds. We like the traditional nerd stuff, comic books and Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I would love to have like a replica lightsaber, you know, just for display, just to say that I have a lightsaber, you know. I don't need to go through the whole, "You're building a lightsaber. This is fucking look at Yoda," and hold your lightsaber up and turn it on because we're all Jedi. I don't need to do that. I just want to buy a lightsaber by myself and tell nobody.
That's part of the building the lightsaber motif.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
it
pay
is. It's
for
like
that.
that's what you're more so paying for the experience, because also the lightsaber they give you is kind of a piece of shit.
That's fucking awful.
It's low quality lights, it's low quality sound, and it's not great. You could buy like a really, really nice, high quality, like almost movie replica lightsaber for like $150 on just some random website, you know?
Go to
Yeah.
It's gonna come. It's gonna be
No.
Yeah, go to Comic-Con. It's gonna be heavy. It's gonna have great lights, great sound, super high quality for half or maybe three quarters of the price. But you're mostly paying for the experience when you go to Disney.
Yeah, we're not gonna name any of the websites though, because unless you want to sponsor us, which none of you will. So
I also don't remember any of them.
yeah, no, same.
Most importantly.
Shh.
But
we're trying to
anyway,
tempt
back
them,
to
Jack.
yes, right. My bad.
Yeah, come on.
Sponsor us, please. Disney,
Please.
sponsor us.
Disney.
Even though
Disney.
they're saying you're
Yeah.
your most profitable.
We will
Whatever.
say that Disneyland is great right now if you sponsor us Disneyland. Otherwise,
Yes.
you'll get a big knob.
Disney's known to give out sponsors to podcasts
Anyone.
with 60 followers.
Anyone. Yes, they usually do.
Anyways, but my whole point about Galaxy's Edge is that the first time it's really cool to see it all. Having gone to it again after a year break of not being at Disneyland at all, it's kind of just crowded. It's a really small space with these like narrow corridors sometimes that you have to shuffle through, and there's not that much to it. Again, there's the Millennium Falcon area. There's the TIE Fighter, which is really just a stage for Kylo Ren and 2 stormtroopers to just wander about. And then all the way down like a 5-minute walk is an X-Wing, and then Rise of the Resistance, which we didn't get on and we're not going to talk about. And then you exit the
Jack
land,
did some
and that is it.
horrible things that we cannot name that got us kicked out of Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, well,
so
we're actually banned from Disneyland forever.
he actually
because
He crashed the Millennium
Yeah.
Falcon into the Rise of the Resistance ride because you can fly it.
I killed Chewbacca.
He personally strangled him with his bare hands.
It's true.
I want
It's the same.
to talk about the my experience in this fucking area. What's it
Yeah.
called?
Galaxy's Edge, which I think it should have just been called Star Wars Land.
Star War. It's called Star War.
Galaxy Edge.
Because here's the thing,
Star
it's
Wars.
Star Wars, but it's called Galaxy's Edge, but you're on a planet called Batuu.
Fuck
Star War.
that, dude.
Yeah, it's stupid.
So
It's stupid as
Galaxy's
fuck.
Edge, I thought when I got there, I was like, is this fucking real life? Because I had no idea it even existed because it wasn't there a decade ago when I went there. And so this was all new to me, and I'm like, this is hella fucking cool.
It was.
And for some reason, my first instinct was, I really want to touch these walls. I wanted to know what they felt like. I don't know why, but like I felt like it would connect me to like the movies or something like that. I have no fucking clue. But
I got
You'd
that
have a
same
vision.
feeling. I got that same fucking feeling. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was just obsessed looking at just the walls of everything. They were so cool. I just wanted to run up and touch them, and I was like, why do I want to touch everything like an actual toddler?
Again, the atmosphere they build is incredible.
It's
Well,
so
I have to
good.
inform you guys, both the two of you and the audience, it's fucking concrete. It is concrete.
Of course.
But no, yeah, it was super cool. Even the fucking, this is weird to say, the bathrooms were sick as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they had like a community sink made out of like all these pipes in this huge like square basin. It's
super
surprising
cool.
how much effort they put into just the bathroom.
There was like an outside
also
of like
the hand dryers.
Yeah, outside the family restroom, there was this like old like imperial keypad lock looking thing that would light up. Like they
Yeah.
just had these little details to make everything look more like Star Wars, and it was really really sick.
Fucking trash cans were droids. That was sick. They had also
Yeah.
regular trash cans, which I didn't understand. Why have trash can droids and then trash cans right next to them? I didn't fucking get that. But yeah, it was really cool. As for the one ride that we did go home there, the Millennium Falcon ride, which by the way, you can fly it.
You can
Fly the
can.
Millennium Falcon.
It's a 6-person job. There's 2 engineers, there's 2 gunners, and there's 2 pilots. One pilot goes on the vertical axis, the other one goes on the horizontal. The 2 gunners, they press a button, and then at the end they press another button. The engineers press one fucking button in the entire goddamn thing at the very end. And
Yeah.
so it's basically just the pilots. And let me explain to you my thought process on this. So they get 2 competent people to fly, and then you get 4 fucking children. So I'm assuming a family of 6. because the kids wouldn't be doing anything, they could just watch the show, which makes sense. That's perfect marketing. I wish they said it like that, because when they said Gunner, I'm like, yo, Gunner,
Yeah.
I want to be her. And
If you know anything about the Millennium Falcon, you know that there's a turret under the cockpit with a little like, moving. It's a turret. It's
Right.
There's also
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
pointing
there
and
are
shooting at things.
turrets that you sit in and they rotate around. Which,
Yeah.
if you think about it, wouldn't that be just the coolest ride? Like, if you
Yes.
could go into that
Yes.
and, it would rotate around and you could shoot at things, wouldn't that just be really cool? Like, that would just be an overall success,
Yeah. But no,
Why
you're
would they
sitting
do it?
behind the pilots and you're pressing a button. That's it.
The worst.
yeah, and then for the engineers, they literally could have like made you like a droid. Like you could have been going around doing ship repairs,
Sure.
making sure like the fucking force fields are up and shit. That'd
Yeah.
be sick as fuck. But they have
Oh.
you press a button for a grappling hook. Like it's so fucking dumb. And,
Also-
and as for the gunner, you don't even aim. You just press a
Exactly.
fucking button.
I fucking hate
Yeah.
also everyone was always talking about how you could walk around the inside of the Millennium Falcon before you went into the ride. We got in there and there was one hallway and it was like, oh cool, we are in the Millennium Falcon and there's the cockpit. Oh wait, it doesn't continue anywhere. Oh, we can't really walk through. And then but the
Yeah.
dude was like, go, get in your seats, and we're like,
Yep.
I was like, oh, I don't get to appreciate any of this. This is cool.
What they
I love
what they
this.
mean is you get to walk through one of the hallways with like the white wall interior, and then
Yeah.
they're like, "All right, line up," and then you go in to the ride, and that's it.
It was like, oh, this is kind of dumb.
I would have preferred walking through the ship at the beginning of A New Hope. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
I was saying this. I was like thinking if they made this like a Star Wars land instead, like a separate Star Wars land, where they had
Yes.
the prequels, the original trilogy, and the sequels, and then they could have spin-off like areas too. That
Yeah.
would make so much money. And
Yeah, it seems lazy as fuck because they just put you on a random planet that no one's ever seen before.
Yeah, nobody
why
cares
wouldn't you
about.
why wouldn't you be put on like the forest moon of Endor,
Or on
you're put on
Tatooine.
or even fucking Jakku or Naboo? Or anything. Kashyyyk
Nah,
even. The fucking
nah.
Wookiee planet.
Nah,
Put
nah,
me
nah.
anywhere I've heard of.
Mustafa,
Exactly.
let's go Mustafa, baby. Mustafa.
There's
was hot
real
enough.
deadly lava all around you.
Fucking Camino. It's just constantly raining in this park.
it's a gas planet.
That'd be great, actually.
No, but
That would be great. That'd be phenomenal.
Jack, you make a great point.
Just
Here's
have
the thing.
misses everywhere.
Tatooine, they basically made it a planet that's basically Tatooine, but not. So why don't you just make it Tatooine?
Yeah, it's Tatooine without the desert. It's because it'd be too expensive to put all that sand in there, and they basically just made it, well, here, it's Star Wars, but we're going to put you on a planet that looks like the rest of Disneyland, but with Star Wars buildings.
They also promoted a cantina, and I was like, fucking, is this Mos Eisley? The fucking cantina?
Nope,
Cantina band?
Because we're not on Tatooine.
And I was so upset to learn that
Now
when
I
was buying fake milk.
Exactly. But the milk was good. I will say the milk was good. The
Milk
blue
was
milk.
overpriced.
Listen,
was
that's even
overpriced.
funnier, the fact that it's called blue and green milk, but it's literally not milk.
Milk. It's not.
Even the milk isn't milk.
Nothing is real.
Even the milk is disappointing.
The drink was fine.
Milk is a lie.
And I mind you, I always get my drinks without ice because I just don't like ice. They're just a waste of space in my opinion. If you're gonna have the drink for a long time, get ice. That makes sense.
This is a weird...
But this
a
this
weird
drink,
vendetta
this,
you have against ice.
This drink comes with ice, and
It was blended.
it's like little cubed ice, and I thought
It's blended.
It's a blended.
blended. I don't get ice. I don't
blended
fucking know
drink.
this
It's
shit.
like a smoothie or a
It's a
slushy.
smoothie.
So it was really nice with the ice, and as soon as the ice was gone, the drink lost all appeal to me. For me, I don't know if you guys experienced the same thing, but it needed the texture.
Yeah, not to mention it's like a $14...
$14 like sippy cup.
Yeah, like a 6-ounce drink.
I was expecting it to like I was expecting it to come in like at least like a drink cup size
Yeah.
thing for a $7 beverage, and it comes in literally like a Dixie cup. It's just a glorified
Yeah,
Dixie.
it's like
red
it's
solo
like
cup,
something
but
you'd find in
smaller.
a cabinet in your office.
Not
Yeah.
to mention, and no offense to Disneyland, but the clerk I was talking to sounded like this. I didn't hear a single fucking word they said. Because they were fucking whispering the whole goddamn time. They didn't look at me. They just looked at the register the whole time, and they were
Thanks,
like,
Anthony. That's going to be a pain in the ass when I'm editing.
they were like, and I'm like, what? Here's my credit card. I have no idea what the fuck they said.
Here's my credit card. Please sell my soul.
They were so fucking quiet, bro. The person for the Millennium Falcon ride, which by the way, you can fly it.
Did you know?
He was actually really chill. He was like super into character. I thought that was sick as hell.
Yeah, he was like an older, like maybe mid-50s gentleman. He was telling my brother who was with us not to crash, which he did.
Many times.
It was quite funny.
Yeah, he's being all satirical and everything, which was really cool. I
Yeah.
will give Disneyland this. The actors are pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
They are called cast members.
They don't get paid like one.
Also like the big store in Star Wars Land, like the one that is indoor that has all the fancy things and where you buy the Jedi holocrons and whatever.
Yeah.
I'll say the store itself was pretty cool. They have a little Sarlacc on display. That was really sick to see.
Yeah, like a baby Sarlacc.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like it was in a little terrarium and you could see its actual body.
Yeah, it was
But-
really weird to see though.
Yeah,
It
it
was
looked like a
really-
naked turtle.
It looked like a naked turtle. It was so strange. But that area was really cool to go into, and it was just fun to look at everything, kind of like a museum. But I'm not gonna drop $50 for a
Yeah.
Toys R Us. No, like it was like a Toys R Us level Jedi holocron.
Not
with
even.
just,
It's like a Walmart level
a
motherfucker.
wall. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's
really
a Walmart
was.
level.
That
You're
thing was
right.
$50.
Yeah, it
think
was
it was
$50
$50
for a thing
That's
that lights up
awful.
and has the voice of discount Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And has
Yeah.
a fucking Care Bear voice modulator in it, dude.
Exactly.
What the fuck is that?
Now it does
also,
play
they
different
sell like
messages.
$2,000 earrings.
What?
Yeah. They were
Why?
selling $2,000 earrings, just
People
nondescript.
buy
It's not
them.
like this is a replica of the earrings worn by Princess Leia. They're just fucking earrings.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They have character busts that are like $400.
Ayo, listen, if you don't know what to spend your money on, don't do that.
No.
Don't. There are charities out there. There are homeless people, dog. Just
Yeah.
Just figure out what to spend your... Don't give it to Disneyland.
Yeah.
True.
You're in California. There's homeless people everywhere you look.
And you can
Yeah,
get any
honestly,
of that
that-
stuff
yeah.
for cheaper on Etsy.
Correct.
You can get anything you could find in Disneyland
yeah.
for cheaper
I want
online somewhere.
before we get too far into this, I want to move on to Avengers Campus because I have a few things to say about it.
Go for it.
We barely saw it,
Um,
so I barely remember it.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm glad we barely saw it because I'll be real. Nothing about that world, every new thing that they add is rather underwhelming, I've found. Because everything about Avengers Campus and California Adventures was so just disappointing to me. They have an Avengers
yeah.
base, which like Thor and Black Panther were just standing on top of, behind a railing, just standing there, walking around. And I get that they're doing like distanced character meetings, but I thought it was more fun to see Tigger behind a rail with a net than it was to see Thor like 50 feet in the air behind a fucking railing. And also, it's disappointing to me because it's not anything that you recognize. Like the Star Wars thing, it feels like you're in Star Wars. But the Avengers
right.
Campus
Yeah.
thing, it feels like I'm in just a commercial for Marvel movies because
No,
that's
yeah,
not a
that's
thing that
fair.
appears in any movies. And there's like this giant building with the Spider-Man logo on the side of it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this supposed to be?
True.
This has nothing to... Spider-Man's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's not hiding in a fucking military base.
It's called Avengers Campus. Why not an Avengers Tower?
Yeah, there's no Avengers Tower. That's a great point. I didn't even think of that.
Thank
there's
you.
There's like the... It's not... But it even like the quote-unquote Avengers base that they have doesn't even look like the all glass walls with full
Yeah.
window around that you see in like Endgame or Infinity War. That's not what it is. So
It's
what's
not
the
actually
fucking point?
the Avengers base. So
Yeah,
what
and
is
there
this place?
there was like a cool show going on with like the Dora Milaje, and they were like having kids come up and do the like Wakanda Forever salute, and that was fun to watch. It was fun to watch that because
that was really cool.
yeah,
That
when
super
I was
cool.
a kid, I got picked to do like the Star Wars lightsaber fight thing, and I got to fight Darth Maul, and I was like, that was really cool to see.
What?
Kids, yeah,
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
that was really cool to see kids now be able to do the new version of that thing. But for me, an adult who has no room to complain about this, it was just underwhelming. And there's there's Hank Pym's cafe, which is like got like a big chicken inside of a little bun and a giant strawberry or whatever. And like that's cool. It's overpriced food, so great. But everything else was kind of just meh about Avengers.
Yeah, there's
I will say Disneyland gets much more depressing the more you age.
that's
Correct.
a California Adventure.
All of it.
All right, fair point.
Just everything, yeah. Everything about Disneyland,
Not
California
Didneyland.
Adventures gets
Not Disneyland.
sadder.
Disneyland.
Disneyland is great, but Disney is a piece of shit.
Disneyland we
Um,
like.
I will be honest. During just to finish off with Disneyland real quick, Space Mountain. I got really nervous to hold my hands up sometimes because I couldn't see and I was afraid that I'd hit a bar.
No, that's literally been my entire life. Every time I've ever gone on Space Mountain, I feel super uncomfortable lifting my arms because it feels so close together.
Yes, I'm like, is that a bar? I'm gonna put my hands down. That wasn't a bar. It couldn't have been a bar. They know how to do this.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Also-
actually,
Yeah.
speaking of Space Mountain, by the way, one of our friends actually talked to the guy at the line and complimented him on their tattoo
On his Sasuke tattoo.
and gave us a fast pass, which, by the way, fast pass don't exist right now.
Yeah.
And so we were put to the front of the line, give us a 5-minute wait out of a 55-minute wait.
Yep.
That's pretty epic. So thank you, friend of ours.
Everyone who works at Disneyland is great and really deserves to be paid more and to have a better job.
Life.
But, yes, better life. But, yeah, that's it. I don't know why I keep saying but. There's no but there. They deserve to have a better life, period.
Yeah. Speaking of fast passes, they did get rid of fast passes right now, and it might be because of the fucking lower amount of people. Maybe they want people to stand in line for longer.
is.
But like at the same time, like why?
Speaking
Like-
of it just reminded me of it because we saw people getting a fast pass before us, and we assumed that they are famous, but we didn't really get to see them.
They had a guide.
Mm-hmm.
They had a guide
I don't-
walking them around.
Yeah,
the
there was
park.
there was a cast member with them, so
Yeah.
they had to have been some sort of VIP guest because they also got let into Fast Pass right before our group did.
Right. Anyways, our friends are currently in Disneyland, and they posted on their story today that Christian Bale was at Disneyland today.
Yo, what?
Yeah, they saw Christian Bale.
I didn't fucking see that. Damn.
Yeah, look at D-Man's story.
Oh, you know what's funny? The last time I went to Disneyland 2 years ago, we were there 2 weeks before Tom Holland and the whole cast of Spider-Man Far From Home were also there.
Yo, that's
2 weeks
that's so
before.
upsetting.
I was really upset.
Damn.
Damn. All right. Anybody else have anything to say about Disneyland?
Disneyland.
No.
I really liked the Galaxy's Edge, which I like the atmosphere about it. It was really sick. Adventures Campus, really didn't care. I thought some of the places where you could take pictures were cool. Moving on, California Adventure. California Adventure, fucking cool.
Much better. I'll be real. It's always been much better for me. 'Cause
I
I'm a movie
yeah,
guy.
agree.
And the theme was always movies with California Adventure. And California, because I also love California. So
He loves
I'm
that
all about it.
smog.
One thing I remember about my first trip there 10 years ago was what's that ride that they changed? The big roller coaster.
the Incredicoaster now. But
They-
at the time, it was California Screaming.
California Screaming.
California Screaming was cool as fuck.
I love
Mhm.
That's
And
my
now-
favorite Disney ride, period.
And now I'm so upset with it because yes, it's the
Incredicoaster is
same
not my
ride.
favorite ride.
But now, yes, it's the same fucking ride, but they added these awful the sound effects.
Yeah, they're just yelling at you the whole time. The cast of The Incredibles is just in your ear throughout the whole ride.
Also this awful music, which I don't even think was The Incredibles. I think I was blocking it out, to be honest.
It was.
With you.
It was The Incredibles.
It was just so in my fucking
Yeah.
ear and
It
distorted.
didn't.
I
It does
really
not
fucking
sound like.
hated it.
I could not tell. I have gone on that so many times, and I did not know that was actually the Incredibles music.
Okay, hold up.
It's so.
I really
loud.
love the Incredibles theme song. I think it is like top 5 greatest
yeah.
superhero themes.
I
ever.
love it.
It's so perfect. But they did not fit that song well with what was happening in the ride. Because there's like
No.
the part where it goes like da 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 and you're just like going around a turn, like a regular turn.
Not to mention,
It's not exciting.
It's like a 4-minute ride. That's not a 4-minute song.
No. Well, it's like a 2.5 minute ride. It's one of the longest roller coasters in the world.
Oh, whatever.
But it's still. But it's not. It's too much. It's too much going on. I liked it better when it was just like the California Screaming like electric guitar and
Yeah.
like
It was so
synthesizers going
good.
off, and it was cool as fuck. And even when like they had the Red Hot Chili Peppers song in it, it was even fucking cooler.
What?
Yeah, they had. I think it was Around the World. It might have been a different song, but there was a time for like a couple years where it was a Red Hot Chili Peppers song while you were riding it, and it was so cool because it was just a fun roller coaster. Now it's just marketing, and it's not good.
Yeah. I
hate
understand.
that they changed everything to Pixar Pier, and I get it. It's all marketing. Everything has to have a theme,
Yeah,
but it's just stupid.
it is. Now, I have one more Disneyland related thing personally. If you guys, speaking of themes, if you guys had to make your own Disneyland themed area, what would you pick to be its theme? What franchise would you pick? Like, if you could create your own park, but like just make one land with a theme, what would it be?
Wizards
I'd
of Waverly
create-
Place.
Ooh,
Up to you. I'll give you that freedom.
interesting.
It's your park.
I will say I'd like for there to be a dark ride in the vein of a haunted mansion or
Okay.
Pirates, where you go through the beginning 5 to 10 minutes of the movie Up, and then at the
Oh.
end when his wife dies, all of the lights come on and you just have to get out and walk the rest of the way down just a desolate hallway.
Did you have this planned? What is this?
I just thought it'd be fun.
I'm not gonna do that. I hope you know.
That's my favorite Disneyland ride. Okay,
it'd be
no,
funny.
we're creating Disneyland. All right. So these are we're each gonna make a ride in Disneyland. So that is our first
Wizards
ride.
of Waverly Place. There's Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yes. There's the first 10 minutes of Up,
Yeah.
and it is a 10-minute long ride.
Yeah, you literally just were like, you're in a little buggy riding through. You're just watching everything happen around you, almost like in Mr. Toad, or in the Monsters Inc. ride where the movie is happening around you, and then you just get to the end. He's just sitting in the funeral home by the casket. And then all of the fluorescents come on. You see everything. You can see all of the animatronics, every detail of the horrible experience you just had, and then you have to walk by yourself in silence to the exit.
It's a 1-person ride.
Yeah, it's a 1-person at a time, so you have to do the whole 10 minutes, just you, then a walk, and then the next person gets on, and the line every day is 3 hours long.
And they
Chris,
still have
what
a
would you
single
do?
Hey, I posed the question. You go next, senor.
I already did.
He did. He said Wizards
Oh.
of Waverly Place.
Oh, I actually didn't hear him say it. Wait, describe your ride, though. Describe your ride.
It'd be a park place. There are also
okay.
rides in.
Wizards of Waverly Place is just New York, right?
Yeah, but it's also their fucking college magic place and shit. They have they also do the rides and stuff, and people die. Ooh.
I think you're confused.
I'm
But
not, dude.
what would your ride? Describe your ride. Describe your ride.
Oh my god, no.
Chris,
what's,
you.
what's your thing? We got to wrap this up.
All right. So mine would be just fucking. It would be similar to Tower of Terror, where you have to go up and down in it. Except you have to just hang on to the ropes, and it'll be the recreation of the final scene in Tarzan, where Clayton hangs himself with his with the dagger. And you have to recreate the fight scene between Tarzan and Clayton, and yeah, I think it'll be
Then
a
at the
success.
end,
with the kids.
one member of your group has to get on.
Yep. It's all
right.
it's all for show. It's all for show, though.
Great.
I changed my ride. My ride's gonna be called the Fisnius and Ford.
Ah.
And the ride
Phineas.
would be it appears to have been built as you're riding it, and it'll appear to break in some parts, and you'll be yelled at by their sister or whatever, and it'd be cool.
That's actually not a bad idea.
No, yeah, you're actually.
So we're
making a
removing
real
it
ride.
because, bad ideas only here.
Hey,
No, what it
it's
is-
called Fisnius. It's called Fisnius and Ford. Okay.
No, what
how about
happens
this?
is the
It's
car
like
breaks
a-
down, and you actually have to manually repair the ride yourself every time. They supply you with a toolbox, and if you
While
can't
being yelled
fix
at
it,
by
the ri-
everybody.
Yeah, the
I'll throw
ride
in another one.
stays
I'll throw in another one.
broken
It's
down.
like it's like the Buzz Lightyear thing where you're shooting at stuff, except it's Bambi and you have to shoot his mom.
It's just one shot, and whoever shoots her first wins.
Fuck.
Whoever
It's
shoots
the
her
opposite.
first, whoever shoots her first at the end of the ride gets to wear for the rest of the day a deer skin over their back. And just have
They
everybody look at them
supply-
and point.
I've never seen Bambi.
Well, that's what happens.
I know the bitch gets shot.
All right, let's real quick. Disneyland California Adventures. Good job or big knob. I'm giving it a. You know what? I can't give it a big knob. I got to give it a good job because I still had a good time.
I gotta give it a good job. I mean, especially pre-COVID, it's a great time. It's a fun little experience. Just being in Disney it is a good time.
It'll get better when things have calmed down fully.
Yeah, but right, I say as a review, wait a little bit longer, guys. Just wait a little bit longer. Just go
Anthony?
maybe 2022.
My opinion, Didneyland, big knob. That shit hella expensive. Big wait time. You're basically paying them to walk around, and then and then buying the foods, and then like they're just marketing, giving you awful shit, awful food. Like the acting's cool. Some of the rides are fine. California Adventure, that's the shit. I'd give that a good job.
Awesome. I would say you're wrong about the food. The food in Disneyland is really good. But,
Yeah.
Oh, also, my favorite part of the whole entire day that we spent at Disneyland was definitely Splitsville, which is like a bowling-themed restaurant in downtown Disney.
Damn
we had
right.
a great time. We had a sick-as-fuck waiter. Oh, damn, we should have told him about this podcast. But
yeah.
he was a really cool guy. Great dude.
Let's go
Even
back.
Really incredible food at
Let's just go to
Splitsville. Yeah, if you're in California, don't go to Disneyland. Just go to downtown Disney and eat at Splitsville.
And they have like these private bowling lanes too, which was really sick. I wish we had the energy to do that because I totally would have been down.
Correct.
Yeah, my feet's big hurdy.
Anyways, moving on. I have kind of a shorter surprise segment, but I think it's pretty good nonetheless. So, as we know, Space Jam 2: A New Legacy is released into theaters. We're waiting until we find Marcus to review it because we think that he'd appreciate that. We're getting close. We're getting closer and closer. We'll keep updating you on clues and his whereabouts. But it's out, and we'll talk about it soon. But while we're waiting, I have a little game here. So here I have a review for Space Jam: A New Legacy on Letterboxd.
Yes.
And I also have a review for the movie Joker. I'm going to read them, and I want you to decide which one is which.
This happened to my buddy Eric once.
Yeah, that's it. It's a trick question. They're both for Space Jam.
They're both for Joker.
Okay, let's go. Here's the first one. These are in no particular order. I have spent several hours now performing an exorcism on myself, and I still only feel marginally better than I did when the lights came on and I emerged from the interminable hellscape that is this fucking movie. It is a million times more apocalyptically bleak than you could possibly imagine. It plunged me into a very dark place I have yet to recover from. Granted, it might have been a case of the perfect storm, a particular cocktail of troubled and anxious thoughts over the last few days that meant I was in a state most susceptible to existential despair, but these truly were, without hyperbole, 115 of the most angst-ridden minutes of my life.
I'm gonna stop
I'm gonna
right
stop
now.
right there. Nobody
Don't-
say anything.
don't-
Nobody
don't.
say anything. I'm gonna read both, and then you have to tell me.
But I already have my
this,
answer.
I will add. There are 9 more paragraphs to this review.
Keep
I'm
on
gonna move on to the
reading.
next one. I'm going to move on to the next one. After we guess, if you really want me to read more, I'll read more.
Wait, can you read the very end? Give us the very last line, the very last trickle of it, if it doesn't
The
give away
very
too
last
much.
line says, "All I can hope is that these might help, and maybe give me the belief that things can be better as I try and prove this to myself." Anyways, the next review is, this film throws you into a fire and watches you burn to a crisp for 2 hours. By the end, you feel not as much disturbed but intimidated. This film, however silly the script, is at times feels bigger than you by the end. People are going to hate it for the wrong reasons. People are going to love it for the wrong reasons. This might give it away, but at the end of the day, I'm just a little bummed I saw it instead of Uncut Gems.
Yeah, you.
I mean,
I
we
was
already
gonna
knew.
say number one
Yeah.
had to have been it. No,
Number
please
one is
read
for
more.
Space Jam: A New Legacy. I'll read
Please
more.
give us more.
The review continues and says, "I thought it at the very least would be fun. After having been deprived of childhood exposure, thus nostalgic attachment, to the original Space Jam, only to finally get around to it last year with friends and be quite..." Hold on, I need to move because my eyes are hurting reading this. only to finally get around to it last year with friends and be quite fascinated, slightly repulsed, but more or less charmed by it. To hit up the old group chat and ask if we're all down to catch an advanced screening of this, parentheses, discount staff tickets make offers such as this more appealing. A last-minute suggestion, but one met with near unanimous acceptance. Now, only met with regret. I'm going to skip a little bit because this just talks about their experience getting into the movie. Anyways. It is a frightening encounter. It is frightening to encounter art without a soul. I'm not sure I'd ever truly experienced it before tonight. Even in the most egregious money-making exercises in the name of cinema, take Cruella, the last new release I saw in theaters, can be found glimmers of the human experience, even if only in the film's failings. An item of wardrobe, an amusing line of delivery, a moment of questionable ADR. All these can illuminate in some silly little way some insignificant element of personality, the tiniest of reminders that behind the sheen of corporate excess you see before you are thousands and thousands of human beings with hopes and dreams and the urge to express themselves through their art, or, pay the bills. Of course, all this work often gets lost in the machine that is movie making, but at least you can usually see where, at worst, lament, and at worst, I don't know what the fuck that means, lament that it couldn't make enough of an impact, or at best celebrate that it could. Space Jam: A New Legacy is a work seemingly not born of the human mind in any sense. Not a single iota of it resembles anything close to human.
It was written by AI Dungeon.
I'll read just this next paragraph. I don't need to explain that it is dealing solely in iconography, in intellectual property, in empty shades and sounds devoid of all idea and context. There is appropriation, but no recontextualization of these things, because the landscape of this film is so desolate. It feels like a vast graveyard where living, breathing works have been taken and left to rot, artlessly thrown into a congealed heap of endlessly regurgitated trash. I will say before I continue, we have not seen Space Jam 2 yet.
We haven't.
I've barely even seen the trailers, so this is incredible to read.
I'm so excited.
Let me continue. To me, there is no fan service in these images because that would imply the images are serving something. But what is the takeaway here? What is there that could possibly be gained? Nothing. Throughout the film's entire agonizing back half is the half-hearted insertion, almost completely out of focus in the background, of various Warner Brothers quote-unquote characters, their figures floating like specters over the barren wasteland, designed to dimly catch your eye for a fleeting moment. By this point, I was already pummeled into misery by everything that had come before. I was utterly broken somewhere about the point Ingrid Bergman tearfully asks to hear that song one more time, and one of the most beloved African-American performances in old Hollywood gets replaced by fucking Yosemite Sam. Nauseating.
That was the first link to the movie that I could ever pick up right there.
Whoever wrote this is a master of the English language.
Is
What is
it
their
APA
name?
or MLA? What format
What?
is it in? Is it APA or MLA?
I couldn't possibly tell you. It's just paragraphs.
It's
on
in enlightened
fucking,
form.
Is that cursive?
No, another review that I just saw says, "Is this what an NFT is?"
NFT? What's NFT?
NFT is non-fungible token.
It's not
Anyways,
funny,
that's
Tommy.
your sneak peek into our soon-to-come review of Space Jam 2 in the next few weeks.
But it
Thank you
will
for
not be
listening to
as
this
funny as that
episode.
one.
No, absolutely not. We can
We
never
can
top
guarantee.
that. But yeah, we'll watch it soon and we'll review it soon.
I'm Anthony.
Yeah, thanks for listening to
I'm
this
not.
episode of Cram Jam. Yeah, he's not either, and you know what? Neither am I. But-
Wait, shit.
Yeah, you can follow us at Cram Jam Pod on everything. Share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell them to listen.
He's Jack.
They'll hate it. It's true, I am, and they aren't.
I'm not.
That's my catchphrase.
I'll drink to that.
The other one's
I'm Jack, and
Chris.
they're not, and neither are you.
Unless you are.
Chris, what's your catchphrase?
I'll drink to that.
There it is. Don't forget. We'll slam my body down and zigga zigga.
I'm
There's
gonna
a
go eat
throwback
hot
for
Cheetos.
you original listeners.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Oh, well, wait, actually. I wanna add now, and this is a surprise to you two as well. We're actually not going to have an episode next week. We're taking next week off. I'm very busy. I do not have time to record or edit next week's episode, so look forward to that not happening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new spanking episode. Thanks for listening. See you guys.
Wah wah wee wah.
You bitty do.